Welcome to the very first, the inaugural, the premiere of Other People's Bikes. Hence the ill-fitting suit jacket, the tie, the fancy glasses. I know what you're wondering, is this guy even wearing pants right now? For the inaugural first installment premiere of Other People's Bikes, I decided to go with this 2016 Harrow Subvert of Dan the Man 12 _ as he is known on Instagram. Now I have my reasoning behind why I chose this particular bike as the first Other People's Bikes to come out on the channel. And the reasoning is that it just reminds me so much of something I would do to a similar bike that I was like, well, it just kind of fits. It kind of fits perfectly, actually. So first things first, I just think it's kind of cool that Danny took a Harrow, maybe a bike that a lot of other people would not consider desirable or would not initially go for, and just like ran with it. It's just so reminiscent of what I did with the Tricross. I can't help but feel a little sentimental about it. So, aluminum frame that has been stripped and was originally going to be polished to sort of imitate my Tricross a little bit. Can't help but feel a little bit of pride about that. But at the last moment, the frame made its trip to the powder coating shop to get this wild purple finish that you see on it right now. And you know what? Considering I'm stealing this format from Zach Gallardo and his favorite color is purple, it just seems to fit. And honestly, it's just kind of like my almost favorite part of the build in general, is that it did get stripped down completely to go get powder coated a completely different color and built up like wildly different from stock. But powder coating a frame that is from like a mass manufacturer, that is straight out of the Modifying Crappy Cars rulebook. Wait a minute. This thing originally comes with a rigid fork. Okay, a lot has changed from stock to Danny's current example as we see it right now. Swapping out that rigid fork is a Fox 34 Rhythm. It's got 130 millimeters of travel. Front and rear of the bike is boost spacing. Headset on this Harrow Subvert is a Cane Creek 40. The deal for the controls department is a P&W Range 780 millimeter bar with a Baval, which I guess is a cheap Amazon 50 millimeter stem, not as short as you can go. A set of Ergon GA2 fat grips can go on there, along with the Zitto dropper remote. Some Shimano XT brake levers to clamp down on those Shimano XT brakes. Rotors dealing with all that stoppy goodness are TRP 25 center locks, 180 in the rear, 203 in the front. This thing's got crazier brakes than my all-mountain trail enduro bike. Wait, no it doesn't. Obviously the design of this frame set works out well for Danny's fit and the dropper post that he has on there. He's got a Satori Sirota 150 millimeter dropper, which I am very jealous that it's all the way down, slammed down, so when the seat goes all the way down, you've got it as low as it could possibly go. Jealous! I do not recognize Satori Sirota as a dropper. Let's look that up. Let's say the Pro. How much is this? How much it cost? How do you buy one of these? How much is this? I guess we'll never know. Perched atop that dropper, a WTB Volt saddle. In the wheel department, without the parts list, I found myself wondering what in the world are those? They've got no branding on them and they are wide. Turns out they're Orbea house brand hubs and wheels, 40 millimeter wide rims, which makes sense for the Terravel Coronado Light and Supples that are on there, 27.5 by 3 inch. Big boy tires. Big boy tires. Rim pack foam inserts with what I assume is probably the correct valve stems based on some of the comments that Danny left in the video where we put rim packed foam inserts on my bike and I used the wrong valve stems. Simply put, big old tan wall tires on any color bike looks good, but a purpley ass frame, all black parts, tan wall tires, well, that just solves everything. Now, for those of you who may or may not have noticed, this thing ain't got no gears but one. And that drivetrain is built up with a SRAM GXP bottom bracket, SRAM NX 175mm long cranks, a 28 tooth chainring, paired up with a wolf tooth 18 tooth stainless cog. That's some nice stuff. A KMC 9-speed chain. That's a good decision. That is like kind of one of the lighter but stronger 3/32 chains you could go with. That is exactly the type of thing I probably would have gone with. Surly cog spacers with a note here that says like it really matters. I tend to agree with that wholeheartedly. And a Surly single-lader chain tensioner in all silver. I have never in my life used a nice single-speed chain tensioner, and I'm very curious to know if it's any better than the pieces of trash that I've used in the past. XT pedals, but I'm sure those get changed out just like all my bikes do. That's why I never mention pedals while I'm talking about bikes that are built up. They always get moved around, come on. Ultimately, my favorite thing about it is it just reminds me so much of all of the stuff we've done with the Rawstercross, the things that could be done to it, the things that have been done in the past, the things that I'll probably revisit again. Taking a geared bike to a single speed, taking a rigid forked originally bike, putting suspension on it. I love messing and experimenting with those kind of things, especially because it ventures so far, little by little, from what the original intention of the bike was from the manufacturer. Manufacturers will be like, okay, here's our box. We're gonna put a bike out for someone, they're gonna buy it, and they're gonna enjoy it like that for a little while. And then boom, a bunch of stuff gets changed down the line by someone like Danny, like someone like me, someone probably like you, and you end up with this powder-coated purple suspensioned single speed version of something they never thought was gonna be like that. I like that almost even more than like explicitly custom built bikes from the beginning. I like the thought of taking something that isn't and making it is. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. I don't really know what else to say about someone else's bike.